I saw it in 2022 on Instagram. I liked it. It resonated. I didn't know the brand. That was how Parmigiani came up to my mind. And when I saw it, I loved it immediately. Like the gray with the gold. And it's a steel. It's not. I mean, like you have it also on full gold, but for me, the steel version always resonated the most with it because it was strong but not too flashy, and it has depths in it. Like there are a lot of skeletons, and that's nothing new. But somehow, like what I had like in my mind, it was like this design is thought through. It didn't put everything in what it could have, but it made a hard stop at a certain point, like uh, not to disrupt harmony. Um, that's kind of like a conscious decision that was made by someone, maybe by you, maybe by your team, maybe all together. But this is something that I noticed in one way or another. I couldn't buy it at that time. Then in 2023, I was strolling through Venice. I saw it in a shop, and it was there, and I bought it. It got shipped to, because it was already on the day, and I was flying, so it was shipped to Dubai a couple days later. It arrived, and then I remember picking it up from the customs, wearing it, and get like a complete different feeling. A feeling of that's unusual. Because first of all, it's a modern design. Most watches nowadays, all the designs that you have from Rolex Daytona, from Patek, from AP, these are all designs that are very old, or like older, let's say. There is not so much that is new. If you maybe think about Richard Mille, that is more popular, but I mean, like it's also like the shape is also like 10, 15 years old, or even a little bit longer, I think. And so there was something new, and the feeling that I had was uncomfortable because it was unusual at first. It was not known. There was like, and then I realized that a lot of, or like when you're like, I'm part of younger demographic, so we start usually with Rolex, then AP, Patek, Richard Mille, depends on your means and funds, and of course your career. But you go that route, and then afterwards you go into Vacheron, you go into Lange, for example. And here in this case, it was something complete unusual, and like nobody know this brand, but still it has this presence. And for me, that clicked. And at first, I was like this feeling. It was uncomfortable. It was unusual, and I didn't wear it for 2 months. And then I came back from holiday, started to wearing it, and it was like I discovered something or someone that was not me in the terms of really like a piece of art. Because if you see a piece of art, like you either resonate with the artist or not. You never met the artist, right? And that was a very quite interesting experience. Um, and something also like with like over time it starts to grow on you, and then you see the reflections. You see that the brand plays with the light. You see that the bezel is made of platinum and not steel. That gives it a little bit more weight, which feels great, and also gives subconsciously maybe a different feeling as well. I would say that impacts it 100%. But it's not visible. You just feel it by wearing it. And so it became my most worn watch over the last 2 years. Um, and my friends told me like, this is a perfect watch for you. Like nobody knows what it is, but it's super interesting. And when I reflect on this, like I see like myself as an example, and I'm speaking as a client and as a marketer myself, that the assumption we do about why people do our products are always, sometimes we're right, and sometimes like there's more into it, kind of like either a projection or a reflection of what we produce as products, if you can follow me.
Sure.
And that is something that is there like something when you, let's stay with this watch because I'm interested how this came about. Maybe I'm totally wrong, and this is just my own projections about this, or maybe I touched on something that is actually true.
No, you are nailing a very important moment in the life of a person who is purchasing luxury. You are very young, so it's a confirmation that is nothing to do with age, which I call maturity. So you are starting to reason with your own head on what to buy, and you're not interested in what other people are thinking about what you have bought because it was a personal choice. Suddenly you didn't know the brand, you didn't care what your entourage thought, you just liked the watch, you felt something, a strong connection from a style point of view, from your attention to details. It spoke to you, the comfort, obviously, you spoke about it. And there's something that you couldn't describe why you were attracted to it, but you were attracted to it. And this is clearly the kind of customer that we're looking for, because we're looking for a customer who is not following the mainstream. The world of luxury has become huge in terms of size, and it's become much more homologated than before. Think about the beauty of the 70s, how many watches came out in those periods. They were extremely creative, they were different. It was almost mainstream to be unconventional in the 70s. Now, if you were following the stream in the 70s, you were out. Today, it's a bit the opposite. There's a concentration of purchases on fewer brands, a bit what happened in the car industry in the 50s and the 60s, where many brands disappeared. And you have a lot of people who are purchasing luxury to state their success, to state their wealth. No, this is I would say, a primary need. It's not an end need of buying luxury. Luxury is much more than that. First of all, luxury is a cultural exercise. You're expressing your personality through a watch, especially us men. We don't have many toys for boys to wear, and a watch is certainly the most intimate one. And it tells a lot about you. And what you said in the end is very important, because I think that's really the end pleasure of a Parmigiani class customer, is having somebody ask you, what are you wearing? It's interesting. I'm wearing something that instills curiosity because it attracts for the style, but it's extraordinarily finished. It has a style which is quite unique, because you cannot put next to us an exact same kind of brand. And this is what we try to build, and we build that through suppleness. I think you notice by now all the details of the watch that harmonically provide you a sensitivity of luxury. Last but not least is behind the watch, because when you look at your oscillating mass, you see the PF letters not touching the ellipse of the logo on your mass. And that is another attention to details, because those letters are set on a sapphire in order not to be covering the movement. The sapphire idea came from exactly your watch.
Yeah.
Because the oscillating mass that was designed before my arrival was in plain gold, the PF logo.
Yep.
And when I overlapped it on that movement, it was invasive. The mass had to be skeleton. But how can you do a letter without touching the ellipse, which is the logo? You can't stretch the letters to hold them. So I had the idea of suggesting a dial technique to put it into an oscillating mass to set the letters on a sapphire in the ellipse on the oscillating mass. So these are all details that build up your pleasure, your personal pleasure, because it's hidden to the public. It's a watch for you. That's why we took out the logo from the dial. In room writing, we put a graphism to convey the logo, because it's personal. It's what we call private luxury. So everything that is building that sensitivity of being different with taste, is underlining that sophistication of a customer, which is expressing that it's not about how much money you have in life, but it's what we do with the money that you have that is important. You can be much more refined, much more elegant, much more interesting, spending less, because what you buy is providing you with refinement, with something educated, with something tasteful. No, and this cannot be bought by money. This is bought by your personal sensitivity, by your curiosity, by the fact you're interested in understanding things, and this is education. I can't find another thing. So you were connected with us on the deep values that we try to express in our watches and in our brand, and it works with you, but it doesn't work with everyone, luckily.